Confusing Shush's uphill crosswinds, bleak weather in Norwegian barbecue conditions, sea eagles, all happening in the Arctic Race of Norway Stage 1. I'll quickly recap you and bring you up to speed on that one. Impey was clear but brought back by Jaco Alula riding for Blake Quick, Cofidis, Arkea, and mostly DSM as well, going for Dainese. And the two-time Giro d'Italia stage winner on this little uphill drag was too good for the field. There was Noah Hobbs, who had to launch very, very early. He's on the FDJ Continental team, and it's only a teenager, but Dainese, yeah, you see he's able to come past him with about 45 meters to go and wins the stage. But who's he shushing? Well, we got another shusher. Why is he shushing? Is he saying, I don't know, is he saying, shh, I just beat a teenage British kid on FDJ's Conti Dev team? That'll show you the haters? I don't really know. So, I mean, he's won 2 Giro stage wins, so this isn't the biggest win of his career. Anyway, stage 2, another uphill drag. There was a bridge after the second intermediate sprint, runs along the coast, which means in cold conditions, or windy conditions rather, finishing in Hammerfest, could be influenced by the wind or the prevailing wind conditions, which there were many of. Yeah, horrible. This is summer, or middle of summer, August, in the above the Arctic Circle, or in the Arctic Circle. And the breakaway, their chances went away very quickly when UnoX launched this section of rollers that had a strong left to right crosswind as the riders looked at it. And you can see riders just getting dropped off the back. So UnoX with Vernes, I've struggled to say his name properly, but he's the Norwegian national champion. He actually took a step up with them, I think, this year. He's one of their stronger riders here, as well as their star, Tobias Halland Johannesson. You can end GC on a day like this if you get him in the right split with a GC guy like Dylan Turns behind for Israel. If you get Tobias Halland Johannesson ahead, he can win GC, but that eagle was pretty sick. It landed. Heli Shot must be pretty happy with that. And as I said, here's Dylan Turns. So he was in the front split. One of the other GC contenders, and Kevin Vermarker, the American, I expect to go well in this race too, for Team DSM. So it eventually all came back together. UnoX stopped pressing on, or rather other teams were like, we're not going to help you anymore. And yeah, what they grilling? What they cooking out here in whatever conditions they got on the way to Hammerfest? But AK's to the second sprint in Kvalsund, and just after that there's a hanging bridge which is super exposed. And it looked like UnoX went too early. In fact, well, they did really for the purposes of the intermediate sprint. Like Dainese is leading GC, and they just looked like they went too early, and they got taken. Well, they didn't even look like they contested too much. But then straight afterwards, after the co-op rider wins the second IS ahead of Vermarker, they launch it. You see them move over as a team to the left-hand side of the road as we look at it with 34 k's to go, and there's a bridge coming up, and it's got all these bridges have a little uphill in the run into them. Hard to see, it's a big ring uphill, but the wind is just ripping through this section, I think, and UnoX with Jvernes just absolutely send it, creating such a decisive split that in fact it's a team time trial when we get across to the edge of this hanging bridge. There's only one human-powered health, I think one Astana rider or one DSM rider with them, and so they're not going to help them. But it's still 33 k's to go, team time trial, who's going to help behind? The problem for them was the strongest man of the day. It looks like him to me on the front. Gazzoli on Astana. Just remember that. Gazzoli on Astana was the rider, although the facial hair between him and a few of the other riders on Astana is similar, was closing this gap very handily to the UnoX team time trial ahead. And yeah, there's a goat, or white goat, or some sort of antelope operator, deer thing. Looked pretty cool as well. I think I saw some reindeer today. And that gets shut down. So UnoX didn't work. They'd made the race very hard, though, this 150k stage up to this point. It's really cold for some of the riders. Won't be used to this sort of weather at the moment. If they're coming from Italy or Spain or France, it's been super hot there. Hobbs wins the second or another sprint, and we're going into the final uphill drag. And it's 2k's 4%, but there's parts that are steeper than that. Armand Grundle Janssen gets a gap because of his good cornering and the wet conditions, but he's going, I think, again for Quick, or maybe Stibar. This would have suited back in the day, this finish. But he stops. Trek comes to the front, little Trek, but they stopped. Were they going for Brostenga? Is it too hard? Are they going for Baroncini? And FDJ whack it, and they kind of put Hobbs in a bad position here by making it so hard at the start of that climb, and Dainese follows, and Hobbs and Dainese don't feature in this finish. It's too difficult for them, and it's the two Astana riders on the left, Scaroni, talented rider actually, who moves up with Gazzoli on his wheel. And yeah, they come over the top of Tobias Halland. Johannesson, or at least Scaroni does. He's very, very strong. When you look at the position they moved up on, Turns finishes well in this finish, but it's not hard enough for someone like him who's won Flèche Wallonne. And you see Scaroni launch on the right-hand side, and Gazzoli's actually not on his wheel right now. I don't know if that's Champoussin, who came third yesterday, in between the two of them, but Scaroni launches, and he gets a nice old gap. But Gazzoli's like, you know what? I've got the best legs on Astana today, even though Scaroni's on a good day. He's barely in his teammate slipstream, comes around him, launches with the beard, full churn mode, and just absolutely destroys everybody. Bike links on Dainese, on Varmarka, and on his teammate Scaroni, who finishes in second. So Gazzoli, he became eligible to go back on Astana 9 days ago because he served like a 1 year period of ineligibility due to a doping infraction, and he's on the Conti team but riding for the World Tour team. I think here he wins ahead of his teammate Scaroni, Lastra in third. Here's what he had to say after the stage.
Well, Michele, congratulations, a victory on this Arctic Race of Norway. We were expecting riders like Champoussin, like Turns, maybe not you. Is it a surprise for you?
Yeah, for you it's a surprise, but for me it's 1 year. I work hard for this goal, and I'm hungry. I'm totally excited for come back after 1 year. I work hard for this, and I'm back.
Can you explain the finish, the way you won this stage?
Yeah, the last 3K is so hard because a lot of turn, and it's a small climb for the finish, last 2K, 4%. I can take this short climb in the first position, like 10 position. I'm back on the off DSM, and I think I thought, yeah, the leg is good, my mind is good. This is the day when I open the gas in the finish. I think I win.
But what a day! What a difficult day with the echelons, with the rain. It makes your victory even better.
Yeah, it's even better. My first pro victory, and today is a really cycling day. You know, cold, wind, hard, fast, wind, and yeah, it's the dream, dream win.
But I hope you enjoyed the video. We've got more punchy uphill finishes coming. The last stage of Arctic Race of Norway is always a cracker. I guarantee you that. Here's the revised GC. The teenager Hobbs, write his name down in your little black book. He goes into the GC lead for now, but we'll see if he can hang on to that tomorrow. Until that recap, ciao.